Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Part 2 of this 2-part arm workout series, if you will. And this part just so happens to be the meat of the arm workout, if you get the pun. The meat, as in the triceps meat of this arm workout, one of the most neglected aspects of arm development, shouldn't be overlooked. The triceps, ladies and gents, is what makes up 2/3 of the arm. I know you've heard it before, but I'm here to relay information in the best of my knowledge. So we're starting this workout off with a mass builder, a great exercise for the triceps. Now, you do need to be careful when performing skull crushers. A lot of people tend to feel a little bit of elbow discomfort. You know, it's individualized. I personally have had such healthy elbows over the years. I haven't had a lot of problems with it. Usually my wrists will tend to hurt a little bit more rather than my elbows. Nonetheless, we are sitting on a slight incline. I would call it around 45 degrees. We are using the easy curl bar to do our skull crushers today. And I love the feeling of using that easy bar. For whatever reason, when I'm doing my curls and when I'm doing the triceps skull crushers as opposed to using a straight bar, it just feels much better on my wrists. Now right here is my heaviest set, and my form is not as optimal as I would have liked it to be going back and watching it right now. I would have liked to go a little bit deeper, a little bit lower for a greater stretch in those heads of the tricep, but there's not much you can do. I believe that was around 140 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, which is a lot of weight to be skull crushing over your head. So after that, I went back to just the single 45s on each side to do a little bit of a rep out set. Now you can see that I do like a slight lockout at the top of each crusher. I don't know what you would call it, each press. I do a slight lockout, and it's not a full-on joint and bone lockout. It is much more to squeeze the shit out of my triceps. That lockout allows me to flex to my absolute darndest to get the most out of my triceps development, to ensure that they're engaged the entire time instead of just throwing weight up, letting it fall down blindly. That is not what we're after here. We're after complete engagement and utter fluidity of destroying those triceps. So after that, another mass building exercise. I'm not a big believer in starting with machines before doing triceps. I mean, it is efficient at times to start with a machine, say like a cable triceps extension, to, what would I call it, to further like fatigue your triceps before going into free weight movements. I just find that it's much more optimal, and you're going to see a lot more growth if you use heavier poundages in the free weight movements instead of going to machines and resorting to only using machines. And we all know arm development comes with isolation. And the French press, what I'm performing right now with the single dumbbell, it is great for hitting the inner and outer aspects of your tricep. Now pay very close attention to my arms right now and my actual triceps working. You can see I'm getting a complete full range of motion. The triceps are getting a complete stretch. My cameraman is doing an excellent job actually right now of showcasing just that. And I'm having that slight pause again at the top to fully flex both triceps. Now I personally, in the past, I had a problem where one arm was slightly larger than the other. My right arm, because I'm right-handed, was slightly more developed than my left. And so what I would do is I would go in the gym and I would try to do isolateral type exercises. Movements that would require me to do one arm at a time in order for my left arm to catch up to the same number of repetitions, the same strength value, and overall the same size as my right arm. And so with time, I actually found that my left arm was bigger for a slight amount of time, and now I have finally got them to have the same measurements. In terms of shape, my triceps have a different shape going from one side to the other. It's not really noticeable unless you say something about it. Like right now, you guys may be able to analyze it and see it. I don't really care. I'm not a competitive bodybuilder, but symmetry-wise, I think everyone's arm development, like if you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he did a front double biceps, one bicep was much more peaky and developed than the other one. It's just genetics. I really think it is. It's based on attachments and everything like that. And so it's something that I've fixed over the past period of time. But I'm going to really dig myself a grave because you guys are going to notice this. But one arm has more detail in it than the other. one arm has more like vascularity than the other one, and I don't know if that's from years of God only knows what, eating cereal, repetitious, taking the spoon up and down, eating cereal. You never know because I'm right-handed, and my right arm has a little bit more vascularity and detail in it. So that's one theory, the cereal theory, to keep in mind. But moving on from there, we went into yet another mass building exercise for the triceps. This entire workout is focused on, mass building movements to build up the meaty triceps, to get big ass arms, because when you have big triceps, they can create a pretty nasty illusion. Like whether from the side, the front, your arms will look gigantic if you have them developed properly. And what would I call this exercise? Behind the neck triceps dumbbell extension. God, I was freaking drawing a blank there. And with this, you guys, anywhere from 6 to 12 total repetitions. I don't know. I still have that slight pause at the top, that slight flex, that little grace period where I'm really trying to flex my tricep while not hurting and injuring my elbow in the process. And this is one problem I run into. I tell people that you should try to keep your arm perpendicular to the floor and ceiling and basically parallel to the wall. You want your arm to be at a 90-degree angle, your elbow placement. But when you've got like really developed biceps and very developed shoulders, like for me personally, I am not flexible to do that. And so it may appear as if I'm cheating. And at some point in time, like I do cheat. I do allow myself to have more of a bend, to use heavier pounds. If I try doing a behind the neck triceps extension, God, I can't talk, with like a 50-pound dumbbell, then yes, I do run into like this right here. I'm pushing myself. My arm gets a little bit more of a bend than what it should have. But when people overthink that type of stuff, I really think they're doing just that. They're overthinking it. You're not going to fall into too many problems or triceps injuries as long as you read into your body and you're smart about it. These exercises overall are about fluidity, about rhythm, and engaging and isolating the muscle that you're after. In this case, the triceps. If you're just going through the motions, having a conversation with someone or not really in the movement itself, you're not going to get the total package and you're not going to get everything out of the exercises that you perform if you're not focused in on what you're doing. It can be challenging. Like some people have such a hard time isolating their triceps.
Let's go.
They cannot get a tricep pump for the life of them. And that's usually because they're either using too much weight, they're not thinking about what they're going through, and they're going too fast. They're just trying to get reps in. If you slow down these movements, you lighten your poundages, and you back off on the weight and the ego lifting, it's very easy to get a tricep pump. I mean, it's a matter of doing the exercise properly and having a good approach to your workouts. So this is the final exercise of our triceps session. We are finishing off with some triceps kickbacks. Duly noted at the same time. We're hitting both sides at the same time. This is a very overlooked exercise. The triceps kickback can definitely be yet another mass building exercise if done properly. You can see that slight pause at the top. You want to try to keep your elbows in a little bit tighter than what I'm doing, but I got them gigantic lats. Them giant lats getting in the way. You know how that goes. But for whatever reason, a lot of guys seem to treat this like it's a pussy exercise or that it's only for the ladies. And you guys, this shit, it burns. Like you will be sore for 2 weeks after performing this exercise if you do it properly, especially if you've never done them before. So give it a try, you guys. Give these exercises a try. Let me know how you like it in the comments below. If you have any questions about this workout, be sure to ask and I will try to get to them. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. This is Zachary Zeiler. Until next time, love you all. Peace out. Bye.
Yeah, move the bottom part to my left. There you go, right there.